Somewhere around the beginning of this year, I had an identity crisis, and it led me to want to make this video because I think we all kind of go through that. And I've been seeing it more and more over on TikTok, where people are flat out making videos just saying, hey, I don't see a future for myself. So I've been kind of going back and looking at my journey to see, how did I get to where I am? How did I become a new person? And how am I going to get to the next person that I want to be? So if that's you and you've been thinking like that, then this is the video, because we're going to talk about how to become the woman of your dreams, especially in 2024. I have been competing with myself year over year, month after month, day after day, competing with myself. When I talk about these tips on how to become the woman of your dreams, that means that's going to be the woman that you absolutely love. If you level up from there, good. But if not, you're satisfied with you. So here are some of the things that I have done to become a new me. And this is in all areas of my life. And this is in no particular order, but these are some of the things that I really honed in on and like really made a big difference. And you can do this without money, without anything, just a willingness to do it. Right. Number one, I started organizing and categorizing and purging more. And that can be applied in every part of your life. You know, whether it's your cabinets, whether it's clothing, or if it's your digital space. You know, sometimes we have stuff all floating around. And for me, it was really imperative, because if I'm going to have a digital footprint, I'm going to accumulate a lot of photos, a lot of documents, a lot of contracts, just so much stuff, onboarding stuff for people that I work with or people that I work for, just a lot. So organizing and categorizing those things made me way more efficient. And something as simple as writing things down, which this is from 2019, believe it or not, this video is literally a thought, idea, detailed ideas that I had in 2019 that I'm able to make a whole video on in 2023. So it's very important to categorize things and organize things. I have a box full of notebooks and legal pads of ideas and goals that I've written down. And so at any given time, I can go back and take a look into that version of me to see what was the plan and where I am now. And that is just so important. So being organized and purging, getting rid of things that you don't need, because the more you have, the more you have to organize and categorize, is so important. Next, you need to invest in yourself and in your knowledge. Okay, so true story. I literally learned how to edit to perfection on Skillshare a few years ago. So when I got introduced to Skillshare a few years ago, I found this video on how to edit quickly. And it was actually by another creator here on the platform. I want to say his name is Ali Abdal. And when I tell you, I was like, this is mind blowing. No wonder these people put up videos so fast. Every shortcut you can think of, like, he just spit it out. But he's a smart cookie. He's a doctor, by the way. It literally 10x'd my editing productivity, which allowed me to make better videos. And some of those videos have hit 1 million views on this channel. So thank you, Ali. And thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. I cannot wait to try out this freelance entrepreneur class as well as the marketing class. The first 500 people to use the link in the description box will get a 1-month free trial from Skillshare. Now, the next tip is to make sure you write everything down. And that is so important, because when I tell you, I was literally preaching to my son about this, and he's a young adult now. So I'm like trying to tell him, like, listen, when I was your age, I was doing this, not to, you know, compare, but to tell him, like, hey, these are important years, and whatever you do now is going to set you up for the next, you know, decade and beyond. So we were talking, and he was like, you don't remember this particular incident? And I'll go, yeah, no, I do. I was like, no, let me show you. I pulled this box down that I have, and I literally have every calendar from 1997 until today. And that is something that I will always do. I've been playing with digital calendars, but I will always have a calendar, because when you write things down, it's literally like the blueprint of your life. And I don't know if you remember when the Judge Kavanaugh was in trial for those allegations that he had, but the judge allowed him to enter his calendar. So your calendars could literally be a lifeline one day. And I keep trying to tell my son that, like, son, if you don't write it down, paper will always remember when you don't. So make sure you write everything down, because that is literally your blueprint of who you say you want to be when you get there or on your way there, and all of that good stuff. And it's going to motivate you when you start checking off stuff that you wrote down 2 or 3 years ago. A check mark is just so gratifying. And that's something you can do today. You want to make sure that you are modifying your diet. It is so important. When you write down the things that you want, if it has anything to do with ambition, anything to do with health, anything to do with mood, anything to do with energy, your food is going to be the most important aspect of any of those goals. And that includes water. A lot of times people ask me about my skin and they be like, oh, your skin is so nice. And I appreciate that. And I'm like, thank you. But I never, ever contributed to one particular product, even though there are products out there that I feel like make your skin feel really good and that are soothing. But when I tell you, if I don't drink enough water, I can tell in my skin. Water is so important. Think about it. When you have a flower or a plant and you don't put any water in it, it's going to die. But you can literally put some water on that plant and it'll start to perk up a little bit. The same thing goes for us. We have to have water. We have to have good nutrition. If you don't, the mind is not going to function at its best that it could. So simply just by saying, okay, simple things, right? You don't have to go all health nut crazy. Just simply by saying, I'm going to get enough water in. Why? Because before noon, this is one of the things that I do. Before noon, I'm going to get a liter in, which is literally 2 bottles of water. 500 milliliters, 500 milliliters. And this is something that I implemented when I was working in the hospital, because once you get going and getting reports and calling the lab and transporting patients, starting IVs, doing all of this stuff, you really don't have time. So make sure that you modify your diet to get real food in and water, and plan to win, right? Plan to win. It starts here. This is simple, but it's not, right? Because if you don't take it serious, then you won't really move like that. Like, you really won't believe it. But when you plan to win, you win. Another thing, when you have that mindset, you start seeing all the ways you can win, versus when you have a mindset that I'm not going to win, which is what happened to me at the beginning of this year. Like, I started thinking that everything was hard. I'm like, oh, if I have to pull all my stuff out, oh, I got to do my makeup. And those thoughts alone made me think that what I had already been doing very easily was hard. And because I thought that, I started to act, that thought out. So you have to plan to win. And once you get it in your mind, you write down the thoughts that you have. Okay, I'm going to win by doing this. I'm going to win by doing that. And I'll give you an example for me right now. I was like in a whole funk 2 months ago. Y'all, if you have never seen me on the internet before, hi, my name is Wayna. I make rental-friendly interior design videos. And in August, my channel was demonetized for no reason. And I was literally like that person saying that I would never cry on the internet. I cried like 2 times on the internet. So it was bad. But I literally planned to win. I started doing everything. I created this background behind me. I started implementing a new morning routine. I started stretching every day. I walk outside. The first thing I do, thank God for the day, drink some water, stretch, walk outside, thank God for the day, come back in, read a scripture. Like, it takes me literally 25 minutes to do that. and it sets the tone for the day. And that's something that you can do. And it don't have to be what I'm doing, but it literally could just be anything that you say you're going to do and you actually do it. It's going to make a difference. And that's how you plan to win. Small things that make a big impact in your day are priceless. And make sure you write that stuff down. Write your morning routines down. Write what you plan to do the night before. It don't have to be a lot. It could be 3 things. Like Erin Winters, Erin on Demand. She has the top 3 notebook. It don't take a lot. It just, you have to do what you say you're going to do. And one thing I love is the community on YouTube. If you're not familiar with another creator by the name of Myron Golden, he said something in one of his videos that I was watching, and it was like profound to me. He said, if you cannot keep your word and you always breaking your word, you have heard every lie that you have ever told, and then you stop believing it in yourself. You stop believing you because you have heard every lie that you said. I was like, dang. Will make me feel bad then, huh? So write it down, stick to it. If you don't get to it that day, put it on the next day's agenda. And that's how you plan to win. All right, the next thing that you have to do in becoming the woman of your dreams is to figure out what it is that you want to do in the world. I think that a lot of us want to be useful. We want to be purposeful. We want to have a purpose. And I'm not going to take you to church, but I will tell you that just like water, when you don't have water and the plant dies, we are the same. When we're not connected to the Creator, we don't have a clue. We don't have a clue. We don't understand all of the things that God wants for us. And that has been the biggest game changer in my life. Now, a huge part of becoming the woman of your dreams is literally finding your purpose and moving in your purpose. We've all heard that. And I feel like that's what life's journey is about, right? Whether your purpose is to be a mom, a wife, a business exec, entrepreneur, or at the top of your game in whatever industry, we're all looking for that thing, right? The big puzzle that we're going to fit in, like that little piece that we were meant to be placed into. So how do you get that? How do you find the purpose? How do you tap into what you were meant to do? Well, you try a bunch of stuff, right? And you don't get discouraged if you do not succeed the first time. You just dust yourself off and try again. But you also take God on your journey, because your passion is usually going to be centered around what you want to do. But if you really want to get great at something, like my passion was decorating, designing, making things look nice. I like fashion. I like makeup. I like it all. But what really turned the page for me and really made the biggest difference for me and allowed me to see success in what I wanted to do is putting other people first. I know it's about me, but really when you stop putting yourself first and you put other people first, you serve other people, the craziest thing happens. You become, you become purposeful to people. And that's really what your purpose is. Your purpose is to fix something or help something in other people's lives. And that is what purpose is to me. And let me know what you think in the comments. I'm okay with the conversation. But when I was trying to get things done on my own and wanting to, have things my way, it just was not working. It was only until I really started looking at what does God say I should do? How should I be moving? How should I, approach this situation? That's when things changed, when I started to do that first. So definitely put God first. You knew I was going to throw that in there because it's the truth. What can I say? I can't make this video without saying that. Anything else will be irrelevant. Now, to become the woman of your dreams, I'm learning this the hard way. You definitely have to become more assertive. Not mean, but assertive. You have to be clear on boundaries. You have to be clear on expectations. And that's not just saying that's the case with other people. You have to also be the same way with yourself. So I'll give you examples. Being assertive and having boundaries with myself is like, no, you're not eating that. I know you want to. Your brain is telling you that you want it, but you don't need it. And the other example would be go to bed, right? These are things that your parents used to do, but now you have to do them. Go to bed. That work is going to be there tomorrow. You cannot replace your sleep. Be assertive, have boundaries. Same thing with other people. People may ask you to do stuff. Ideally, you may want to do it, but if you cannot do it, say you cannot do it. Because if you say you can and you don't, they're still gonna be mad anyway. So you have to have those boundaries and you have to be assertive. And I'm learning that in so many different roles. And that to me is what separates like those Shark Tank type of people, you know, from the passive, well, it's okay, you know, want to be overly agreeable. You have to be comfortable with having somebody not be okay with your decision or okay with your answer. Okay, it's so easier said than done because I'm so go with the flow. I'm a Virgo, y'all, so I just be like, I mean, it's cool. Like I try not to get upset if it's not necessary. Like, because when I get mad, it's not good. So I'm like never trying to get mad, but I have to learn to, you know, put those things aside and say, hey, you know, this is just what it is. So also remember that becoming the woman of your dreams also includes other people. And I know that main character energy is really popular. Everyone talks about it. But my biggest fear is getting to where I want to be and then having nobody there to celebrate with me. Nobody there, you know, that I have a good relationship with, like sacrificing friends and family for success. That is a real fear of mine. And so you have to ask yourself, you know, if that's something that you do not want, the decisions that you make have to reflect what you want to see in, you know, 5 to 10 years when you have a dinner or you have a gathering. You know, are you in a good space with your family? Are you in a good space with your friends? Have you made new friends? You know, so all of those things come into play. But I am excited for this new year, and I'm excited that you are watching content like this because we had the same mindset. So those are some of the things that you can do to start your transformation today, and they are free 99. You literally just have to get a notebook and implement them like today. Now, if you're planning to level up in 2024 and you are wanting to increase your knowledge base, be sure to click on the link in the description box down below so that you can be one of the first 500 people to take advantage of that 1-month trial, free trial from Skillshare. All right, I'll see you on the next upload. Later, boo.